Is Stephen Miller's grand eugenics plan to kill off the poor and people of color with COVID-19? Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And Tiffany in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Tiffany, what's on your mind today?
Hi, Tom. I want to revisit the discussion on children going back to school with this pandemic. One of the things that people aren't bringing up is that a lot of children have single parents and they're raised by grandparents. And what happens to these children if these single parents or grandparents are hospitalized or even worse? They die. We'll have a whole host of orphans. And nobody seems to care about that. The other thing that concerns me is that they're going back during the advent of the cold and flu season. And we know that cold and flu, there's research that shows that cold and flu can coexist with the coronavirus. So we have no idea.
And increase the spread of it because when you've got a cold or the flu, you're coughing and blowing particles all over the place, even if you don't have the COVID symptoms. If you've got the bug in your body, there you go. And your point, Tiffany, about the grandparents is a huge one, particularly in minority communities in the United States and among poor people in the United States, where mom and dad are not available, they're absent, they're dead, they're whatever it may be, or they've had to go someplace in search of work. Grandparents are particularly vulnerable in this situation.
Yes, and these children also don't necessarily. Some of them are poor; they don't have access to washing machines. Yeah.
It's almost as if Stephen Miller was sitting around and saying, how can we kill off more of the poor people in this country? How can we kill off more of the black and Hispanic people in this country? Let's just throw all these kids into school and make sure that this really floods, the families of America. I know I'm a broken record here, but it all goes back to April 6th. All of a sudden, this administration and the Republican Party did a 180-degree screeching halt and reverse direction. Up until April 6th, we've got a problem, we've got a virus, we've got to lock down, we've got to do what China and Japan and Taiwan and all these other countries are doing, New Zealand, Australia, we've got to do that. And we were in the process of doing that. And then on April 6th, the New York Times, the Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox all announced on the same day. The new research showed that the majority of the people who were getting sick and the majority of people, more consequentially, the majority of people who were dying from COVID-19 were people who were black or Hispanic. And all of a sudden, the Republican Party, Freedom Works, the right-wing billionaires, official mouthpiece, is like, oh, we got to get back to work. We've got to throw people back into this milieu. And now it's, we got to go back to school. And I realize it sounds like a crazed conspiracy theory. And maybe it is, but it seems to me like Stephen Miller is trying to practice eugenics here.
Exactly, because middle-class students most likely will get homeschooled or do virtual school, and poor students won't have that option. That's right.
And hey, it's fewer people on food stamps. I can just hear Stephen Miller saying it, fewer people on food stamps, fewer of these old people living on Medicare. We'll solve the Social Security problem. We'll just kill off a bunch of them. I mean, it makes my head explode on various days of the week. Tiffany, thank you for the call and thanks for your comments. This is grim times.